listeners, we're gonna.
I don't know any of those things.
We're gonna go in lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
Oh, there you go.
You
don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure it out.
Madonna. There we go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Brilliant. All right, here we go. It begins. 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance, covering World of Warcraft and all things Blizzard since 2006. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by Willie Dills Gregory. Hello, Dills.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
Hey, man. Good. How are things over there? You guys doing all right?
Things are good.
San Francisco kicking it.
I saw Book of Mormon last night.
Oh, dude, that's really good, isn't it?
It was incredible, actually. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know the cast. I don't know the San Francisco version of it, but I guess it was a big deal. It was a big deal.
The Matt and the Trey Parker, Matt Stone. Those guys. Yeah. They ain't just little cartoonist men.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was like the way that they kind of do things where they lampoon things, but they also kind of show you that they get it, that it's not all black and white.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that pretty well.
Equal opportunity offenders and there's other words I can't think of right now.
And defenders?
I've always liked that. I like that a lot. Also with us, joining us all the way from freaking France, Patrick Beja. Hello, Patrick.
Oh, hey there, Scott. I'm sorry I didn't hear you come in over the sound of the fact that I have already seen Avengers 2 Age of Ultron.
Did you watch it on your Apple Watch?
You bastards!
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't hear you, Terpster, over the sound of me having an Apple Watch.
Yeah, the one that you barely can stand on your hand and think
Wait,
it's
do the
too
Apple
tiring.
Watches just make noise all the time? Sounds like a terrible feature.
The fart apps.
The worst product to come out of?
One.
Yeah, it's all the fart apps again.
I'm very sad to tell you that both of those things that I have exclusively experienced are terrible disappointments.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, there you go.
For real? No, wait. Hold on, back up.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the watch thing is dubious in terms of interface and whether or not it's the thing we need and all that, but you're telling me the Avengers Age of Ultron is not good? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I didn't say it wasn't good. So I have enjoyed Avengers 1. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time, even to an extent possibly taking 500 Days of Summer's place in my heart.
He's French,
So
you guys. He's
the bar
French.
was
Just
pretty
remember.
hard.
Just remember he's French. It's really hard also,
Yes.
but yes.
The bar was both hard and high.
All right.
And
really
it's not that it's
like the Avengers.
so. Did you see Avengers 2?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't seen it.
So the problem I have with it, and no spoilers, no nothing. You know how much I hate spoilers. I will never do that to anyone. But I think it has a little bit too much action and not enough heart, and it feels not as good as the first one for sure. It's not my favorite Marvel movie, and I think there are a lot of them that are better. It feels packed with too much and doesn't have enough breathing room. But I'm gonna go see it again. Maybe I'll change my mind. But it wasn't. Maybe my expectations were too high. But it wasn't what I hoped it would be.
Is it Empire Strikes Back-ish in terms of it's a little darker than the other two, and it's the middle chapter, and things are always going a little south in the middle chapter? No, maybe.
It doesn't feel
should
like
be
it.
darker, just based on the villain.
So. Yeah, there's I don't want to get into spoiler territory, so I won't say too much, but it does feel a little bit darker, but that's not what is an issue. It feels like, for me, I mean, anyone who's seen the trailer knows that there are a certain amount of characters, and for me, there are too many of them, and you don't really like them because they just come in and they're here, and you're like, who the fuck are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Who the hell are you? I apologize. Who the heck are you?
It's all right. iTunes still has our clean tag. I'll just beep it. It's fine.
No, yeah, please do. I
Sorry,
honestly did not mean to
listeners.
do that. I honestly did not mean to.
I
curse
mean,
again.
the thing is much
but
like
who the heck
I
are
hate
you?
spoilers.
Yeah.
I really do hate spoilers, but someone told me
When
about the
is
bit
it
where
gonna
Thor dies, and
Yeah.
and then when Iron Man's
That
just
was just
crying,
weird.
and he's crying so much that Captain America hugs him, and then he realizes he enjoys that hug, and then they go into this whole gay romance thing. I was like,
That
what?
was out
and that
of
comes from
place.
less.
That
That
was-
comes
yeah.
exactly. That seems crazy.
I mean, I'm all for inclusion and minorities and all of that, but I mean, that was not it didn't work
It
in the
felt
movie.
like
That's the
it
problem.
felt like they were, they were queer baiting. I believe is the term.
Is that the
It
term?
wasn't really. It
that
wasn't
is-
the gay thing as much as it was the necrophilia thing that I had a
It
problem
was.
with.
No, I mean honestly, I would be quite happy with Patrick ruining it for me because I don't think that I want to know the story and I want to have kind of fun with that world, but ultimately I want to see it because I want to see like big action moments. I want to see the
well,
whole.
there's
Yeah, I'm
fighting
okay with what you
Iron
said.
Man.
Those are the bad
There's
things. I'm
definitely
like
that.
totally fine with that.
and it's not a bad movie. It's actually I enjoyed it. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just that I didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped I would. And Avengers 1 I thought was the most brilliant thing ever because it managed to make to marry action with fun in the same, in one continuous experience that had everything you would hope for in a movie, and that worked without you ever thinking, that's out of place or I didn't care about this, or every scene was pretty much perfect. And in this one, there are great action movies, there are fun moments, there are slightly emotional moments, but they feel a little bit more discombobulated. And it's not that you think every character is brilliant. There are some of them that are cool. The bad guy is kind of fun, and some of them come out of nowhere. And so, but you'll enjoy it. And if anything, by me lowering your expectations, I think you'll enjoy
Oh no!
it
Now
more.
we get
So
to
you're
enjoy it.
you're welcome.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't get to.
Yeah.
That's the big killer of any good movie is high expectations.
Yeah, thanks for taking the bullet
Yeah.
for that for us, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Because we appreciate that. And
I
also,
go into every movie expecting it to be kind of okay,
Yeah.
and then I'm always happy.
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end.
That's a good way to actually approach it. I'm Star Wars. I'm having to really temper myself because I don't want my dreams shattered.
Just watch episode 1 before you go see it.
Yeah, there
and then
you go.
you'll be fine with it, whatever it happens.
Yeah, eat a piece of dog poo before you eat that steak, and it'll be the best steak you ever had. That's how I look at it.
That is a really good idea.
It's not.
I'm going to
about-
have some grass-fed steak and some poo with some grass in it.
Terps or Patrick. I hate to. I
Hey
hate to.
Siri, is Avengers good any good? No, is Avengers 2 any good? It didn't register.
Oh, it didn't
It
work.
doesn't
Yeah.
understand when
It
you just
doesn't-
say
yeah.
all the words.
Sorry,
that
Patrick.
that's the
Yeah,
problem.
we just blurted out. I will say this,
Hey
Patrick.
Siri,
I'm
is
with
Avengers 2 good? Why does it not work?
because you fumbled
Siri
your
doesn't
words.
work.
Siri. Okay.
Seriously, like, why are you asking me? I'm a robot.
I haven't seen it. You've seen it.
It's boycotting me because I'm not liking Ultron.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I see. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm with you that movies need to have a soul, even action movies. So I hate to ever admit that Patrick is speaking my language, but at this very moment, you might be. So I'm going to try to take what you've said.
Siri disagrees with you, but yeah, by all means.
I will lower my expectations. I will go in as blind as I can go, and hopefully I'll enjoy the hell out of it. Time will
Well-
tell. We get it next weekend. So
Not the only
Yeah.
movie news.
I'm gonna see this in IMAX and stuff because if it's like these are the movies that's all made for. Because then if the action is action, whatever, and the rest of the movie is like kind of whatever,
yeah,
it's still gonna be fine.
right.
Because it's big, giant, crazy screen and big, loud noises. So
Oh my gosh, Dills, it's the perfect transition to this. Speaking of movies, the Warcraft movie has been delayed to June 2016.
Mother
God.
truckers.
3 months. Why? Well, Duncan Jones says on Twitter, got good news and bad news. Universal has decided Warcraft deserves to be a summer flick. Yay. Bad news, that means we have to wait until June 2016. They also talked about it at CinemaCon, which was held, I want to say, in Vegas this week.
Can we just agree though that that's bad news and bad news? That no one's. I wasn't like, oh yeah, summer film, hell yeah! I can't wait to watch Warcraft in the summer. Hey! That's great in terms of like people who are like, oh, now it may get more mainstream attention due to people being.
it's good
Yeah.
news for
I don't care
people
about
who are
that.
marketing the film.
Yeah.
but
I want to
for
watch
us,
the
we don't care.
film
Yeah.
now.
So I'm assuming, and Dills, you've
So-
had some experience with this in California because you used to go to a lot of premieres and stuff. When they make a decision like this, it usually is based purely on we need to stack the deck as best we can for summer money and blockbuster success, and March doesn't smell like that to them. That's probably what's
Well,
happening here.
Maybe, but also maybe the stuff isn't ready. I mean, They could just feel like we just need more time to get everything ready, and then Universal says, "Well, if we're gonna wait, we're gonna wait 3 months to make sure that we at least take advantage of the fact that we can now, come out when all the big movies are coming out." The thing is, it's just that like that whole summer season, it's really just because a lot of people go to the movies during that period of time because kids are off school, kids are out of college, people are just going to
but
see.
then
movies.
you have a lot of competition, and you have the big.
Yes.
I mean, usually there is a certain type of movie that ends up being the summer blockbuster movie, and
Other
studios
movies
usually
suffer.
keep.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the studios keep their blockbusters, like the movies they have a lot of faith in, for the summer, don't they?
Yeah, usually. I mean, or the ones that they think will do well. I mean, sometimes you get the sleeper hits that they just think there's a nice hole for, and it's the strategic bet that they place. But sometimes it's like, well, big action blockbusters, these happen typically between May and August.
It's not a big ask, though, is it? That 100 million people have played World of Warcraft. It's going to have a huge audience out of the box. So, I mean, I don't think that they should be all of a sudden thinking like, "Hey, man, this movie could have legs." It's gonna be massive. It's gonna be huge.
Sure.
And yeah, they may be trying to maximize that by doing it in the summer. It may be a great thing. Not for me.
Yeah.
I want to see it. It's 3 months later. I'm sorry, but I've already cancelled my subscription. Thanks, Blizzard, but no thanks, because
Well,
come on.
In a way, it's very Blizzardy. It's when it's done.
It is. It
You know
is.
what?
Maybe
It's not-
that would have been better.
No, because they announced it.
It's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Well,
They said it's going to be delayed, coming out soon.
That's happened before. They've announced
WoW
games. I think it
expansions.
was the Burning Crusade. I think was
Burning
delayed
Crusade,
by 3 weeks, and they missed.
They missed Christmas.
The Christmas period, which was insane. In video games term, you never do that. So they've done crazy things with dates.
Well, listen to this. So March 2016 releases that they were currently up against were things like Zootopia, Peregrine's Home for Peculiar something. I can't read it because it's cut off. The Free State of Jones, Beverly Hills Cop, Divergent series, the final one there.
Whoa. Beverly Hills Cop's coming out again.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're doing
Who's playing Axel?
He is. Eddie Murphy's in it. Oh, yeah.
Eddie Murphy's back.
Yeah, he's back. Back, baby.
What?
Wow,
Oh,
that makes you go Patrick level of high.
This is
voice.
fantastic news.
That's pretty
Why
high.
has no one told me before?
Well, I'm telling you now. This
great
happened in
news.
March 2016, and something called.
And I don't have to choose anymore. Thank you, Duncan Jones.
Yeah.
It was good news after all.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yet a movie called Christ the Lord Out of Egypt. Yo, straight out of Egypt. It sounds like a Compton thing. And then you got Batman versus Superman. So that's your big competition. That's on March 25th.
Okay, hang on. Yeah. That's a big deal.
That'll be a big deal. Now, jump ahead to June. Here's the current lineup. And these things change, obviously. But we have a sequel to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reboot. Something called...
Which was stupidly high grossing, though.
Oh, it made a lot of money. Yeah. Worldwide,
really?
especially. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's because it's a popcorn film.
Yeah.
That means the
And
world
it's-
is terrible.
The world is a bad place, Dills. We need to get off this boat. Sausage Party. I can't wait to see what the hell that is.
Okay.
I
That's one
thought
of mine, I think.
that was the instance.
Hey.
The Uncharted movie is currently slated for that month. And some other things like Transformers 5, Critical Intelligence, Finding Dory. Oh, good Lord. Independence Day 2 is that month. And
wow.
The Conjuring 2, something, and then Warcraft is now in that mix. So Warcraft is going up against another video game franchise, film, and
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about
Transformers
that
5,
one.
and Independence Day 2. Now, in
Independence
theory...
Day and Transformers are the ones that would be concerning.
Yeah, now they technically though, it's all about what weekend you open on, right? So Warcraft opens the same weekend as The Conjuring 2, Uncharted, and Now You See Me 2.
Okay, so they're fine.
I think they're fine.
Yeah,
At
they'll
least
have a big weekend at least.
they have 2 weeks before Transformers 5 and Independence Day go head to head, assuming these dates hold. So anyway,
Yeah.
could be interesting.
Well, so when you have the big first weekend, that's great because that usually builds the momentum into the second weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see. I feel like I don't know. Like Terps, you're saying, yeah, all these people have played this game, but you still got to get like all the quote unquote cool college kids who never played that dumb Warcraft game to want to go see this movie.
Sure.
And
how
I'm
many?
not sure they're going to get that unless they really tout it as this is a massive, big action movie that you're going to want to see.
Let's say I know a lot of people have tried Warcraft, but let's say the faithful right now is at whatever we're at, 12 million. Let's say that we go crazy and say 20 million people are interested. So let's go 20 million people. Hold on, I gave the number right here. That's 2 million. Okay, 20 million times, let's say tickets are $750 on average around the country. So this is just in the States. That means they could do, potentially, if everybody went weekend one, 150 million that first weekend. That's pretty freaking good. So I'm on both sides of this. I think you need the mainstream, but I also think you want to just I think the base could probably cover your first weekend. The problem is the weekends after that, right? Because you're going to have a huge drop off, and that's bad for Warcraft. So I think it's probably smart where they put it. It sucks for us because we want to see it earlier, but I also don't think it would do well up against Superman because that will have mainstream appeal and make this seem like a lesser of a thing. So who knows what the decision making was, but there you go. You're gonna have to wait. And the States gets this one first, not freaking Europe. Those bastards.
I'm
do
totally
they though?
okay with
We
this,
don't know.
honestly.
We're not sure about this.
Actually, we don't know. Yeah, I made that up.
No, we don't know.
Yeah,
But I'm
It
totally okay with
won't.
this.
It's filmed in Vancouver, so they'll probably get it
Terpster
first.
said he's disappointed. I understand the disappointment because you want to see it as soon as you can. But like 3 months, I don't know. Like for me, it's like something that's going to happen already like months from now, and then it getting pushed back 3 months like means almost nothing to me.
sure.
Like when I think about that, it's like I'm only really concerned with things that are coming like pretty soon.
Kinda
And this already felt far enough away that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, even more so as the older I get, the less 3 months matters to me. I mean, that's an entire summer off school. So back in the day, it was like the longest time ever.
You're like, oh
Yeah.
God, that's just forever.
Now you don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. 3 months is fine. Real quick, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2, currently top box office earner with a 4% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So everyone should run out
As it should be.
and see Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2 as soon as they can. All right.
Jeez.
Enough
I
about
think
the
so.
movie. Anyway, we are looking forward to it, and good luck to everybody. And I like that Duncan Jones is at least putting a positive spin on the delay. The WoW token, speaking of Europe, coming on April 21st. Y'all
Yeah, we got
excited? You excited? Oh, you did? When'd you get it?
No,
Well,
it came out.
April 21st.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
day
it's
is it today?
24th now.
Oh, shite. I put this in the notes a week ago.
It will be here in the
3
far
days ago.
future of April 21st, 2015.
All right, so how did it go? I haven't been paying attention to has it risen and fallen the way the
When I looked a couple of days ago, it was 40,000 gold, which I thought, holy moly, that's high. I'm just gonna hearth back to the Golden Lantern and have a quick look. I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm gonna look too here. Trying to see if there's anything about it other than there's lots of things announcing that it happened, but it doesn't say much about.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal.
Is it just
But
less
I
of a
think
deal
yeah,
there?
because the 10-minute price thing as well, it hasn't been fluctuating anywhere near as much as the American one was, because that updated every minute.
Has Blizzard
Right.
have they ever broken down before
Harvey
you read that?
says
Oh,
buyout is there you go, still 40,365 gold.
Weird.
So currently over here, the WoW token I think is worth a lot more. I think it's again just because of the economy. I think we have more money than the Americans. So
Maybe
I think that's how it goes.
that might be it, but that's what I was going to ask. Has Blizzard? I don't think Blizzard's ever broken down their percentage of paying players by region, have they? I mean, they'll say, yeah, we
No,
got 12
they
million
haven't.
people, but they don't go, oh yeah, 60% are in the States and 40 in whatever. They don't
No,
do that.
they never do that.
So I'd be very curious about that because I'm guessing that has a big impact on this sort of thing.
No, it wouldn't.
Sure,
it
it would.
wouldn't.
Sure, it would. Think about it.
Of course not.
Because you've
It's a
got
percentage.
yeah, but you've got less. It's not a percentage of the same token pile though. It's a
Are you
separate
saying
pile
that
of
your
tokens.
your tokens are worth less gold because there's more tokens and you flooded the market?
Correct. That's what I'm getting
Okay.
at. That's what I
No,
think.
but it
I'm
wouldn't.
theorizing.
It
here,
wouldn't
but-
because for as many for the people who buy tokens, then there are people who will buy them, and
But maybe that's
supposedly in the
an
same
American
percentage.
thing, though.
What?
Maybe that's
Oh.
it.
What?
Maybe Americans are more likely to spend money buying tokens, whereas us Europeans, we're so busy being liberal, free, and drinking fine wines.
Yeah, you're
that-
spending all your money on cheeses,
have-
wines, cigarettes,
Exactly.
like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that to me makes a lot more
The
sense.
legal prostitutes of your countries and stuff.
Yeah,
It's a lot of other things to spend your money on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Illegal?
Can't-
Hey, so
No, I
No,
said
legal.
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 I
Oh,
said
okay.
legal.
All right, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Look at Patrick get all fired up about that.
I know.
How
He was
dare
about
you,
to be
sir.
like, hey, hold on.
That's
We
hilarious.
legalized it, man.
I'm just saying there's less of them because there's less, and because they're not buying them up and going crazy with them like we probably are here, because
Well,
again, there are less people.
It's been out for a while though here,
No,
so I feel like
so-
it's not. I don't know. It's
Not
like,
enough
I
time.
think maybe people here tested it, guinea pigged it because they're curious.
Yeah, possibly.
You guys might be a little less curious because it's already been
That's
a thing.
true.
Yeah.
But I think if anything changes, Scott, it wouldn't be the fact that we have less players, period. It would be the fact that, as Turfster is saying, and it hurts me to say this, he might be right, we have a different dynamic between people who are buying them and people who are selling them than you have in the U.S.
Yeah,
That's
that could
possible.
be. That's entirely possible. Yeah, I it'll be interesting to see though the fact that it jumped to 40. They all started at 30. That's important to note, both here in the States and there. So we didn't have a jump to 30. We went lower than 30.
I think initially it went maybe not. You're right. It went down immediately.
Yeah, immediately went down, and then
But it did go up at times.
it did. It crawled up, and then it went down again. It's sitting around 23 or something now. But to see it jump to 40, that's just I don't know how you explain it. There's probably some, look, none of us at this table are economists in any way or shape or form. So if anyone out there wants to interpret
Give
it,
it a go.
send it in. Let us know. Let us know.
Well, there's maybe the reason is that we do have more money in game, so we're buying them faster, and it drives the price up because the offer is drying up.
Is this
That
a
might be
chat
the
room
case.
theory that's happening? Is that
Chat
what's
room
happening?
theory?
Yeah. Did someone in the chat room say that, or are you just some
No.
No. It's
Pat's
just
using his insightful mind.
Okay, good. Because don't believe these chuckleheads in the chat room. They'll lead you
no.
down
I'm
a
just
strange
saying,
path.
the reason why the price would go up is that there's more demand than supply, and that might be the reason why.
That could be. What else?
Basic economics.
Yeah,
Scott.
there you go.
But that could be interpreted both ways. It could be interpreted that people have more in-game gold. It could be interpreted that people are not buying the real money version as much.
Yeah.
Or a combination of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Confused.
It could be that they're snooty buttholes and
If there's less of them out there, they're worth more in gold. Right?
could be.
So that means less people are purchasing them in the first place using the real money to then add them into the WoW economy.
True.
Right.
they're
So,
worth more.
but
I
hang on.
get you. I
So-
get you, Dills. I
So
understand.
more Americans are buying them for the real money and then putting them out there so there's more of them available.
Because
for
of our
prices.
entrepreneurial spirit, damn it. That's
So,
what's
hang on.
happening.
Exactly why.
Does Europe win or not?
No. No.
Well, you
Yeah.
can look at it two
That's
ways. You could say that Europe wins for most
Brilliant!
expensive WoW tokens.
Hooray! Europe wins.
I think it depends on how you define winning, but by our definition of winning,
Yeah.
Terps,
Your
we do
definition is whichever way makes Europe win.
Winning.
Sit back.
By the way, if you've ever watched the Moscone Cup, it's the weirdest thing to hear people chant "Europe, Europe, Europe."
You're up, yeah.
I've never heard it before, and they were doing it. I think it's just because it's like the antithesis to the USA chant, right?
Yeah.
So they got to do that, yeah.
I
Yeah.
But it was just
know
so
what the
bizarre to
Moscow
hear.
Cup is.
Oh, it's
Sounds like
it's a pool competition. It's like Europe
Oh.
versus it's like the Ryder Cup of golf, but for pool.
Yeah.
So it's USA versus Europe.
Yeah, get with
And
it,
Europe
Patrick.
dominates. Like they just destroy. So you guys should be happy about that.
Yeah, bunch of
But,
pool sharks over
Hey,
there.
we win at pool. Woohoo.
Hey man, it's a big
and
deal.
WoW
Look-
tokens. Come on.
And WoW tokens.
And
Let's
WoW
not-
tokens.
let's
Don't
not
forget those.
downplay.
Patrick,
You know what?
Patrick, look, you can't even be happy about a thing your country or your freaking region is winning at.
You guys can keep World War II. We win at pool in WoW tokens. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, my prostitution had to be legalized in Europe.
Hey, we know what you guys
You guys
really
are
like.
winning at that. Too.
This is how we know what you really like. This clip from last week. Here you go. Hold on.
I Lily like Lily.
I Lily like Lily. Great. It's a classic moment. Finally, not finally, there's more stuff, but BlizzCon tickets went on sale twice, as we talked about last week. The second time they went on sale was after last week's show, and there are people who are not happy with how it all went. The Eventbrite setup didn't work as intended, and according to Eventbrite, they are super sorry for how it went. On Wednesday,
What actually happened?
well, here's what they said. On Wednesday evening, we had an incredible demand for BlizzCon tickets, but unfortunately, our waiting room did not work as we expected. While thousands of people were successful in securing a BlizzCon ticket, sadly, we let others down. Our team spent the rest of the week working on a fix that we thought would remedy the issue, and that some encountered on Wednesday, so BlizzCon's second on sale would be seamless. Unfortunately, Saturday morning we experienced significant site slowness due to BlizzCon's second sale. We understand what a frustrating experience it was for those who purchased tickets. Now, basically what happened is people were
messed up.
Sorry. People were told they were in this room, right? Oh, you're in the waiting room. You're totally in line to get a ticket. And then when it would say it's time to get your ticket, they'd be booted out and have to log in and re-enter all their stuff, and by then everything was gone. Kind of stuff like that was happening all over the place.
Well, that seems like a problem.
It does seem like a problem. So what I wanted to bring up was this idea. Somebody had floated, maybe even here, maybe or somewhere. Somebody had suggested the idea.
Yeah, I did.
I think it was
last
you.
week.
Will you kind of reiterate why that would work better than what they ended up doing? Because clearly that didn't work very well.
Yeah, hopefully you're talking about the same thing as I am,
I think so.
It's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Basically, what I was saying is that by this point, it seems that the only system that would work is that you would, get into do a raffle. So you would say, I want a ticket, and then Blizzard would take all of the people who want a ticket over a week, and everyone would have time to register. It would be, a very easy process. And then they randomly choose the number of people that can get that the number of tickets that can be bought. They send emails to those people. If they confirm, they have the opportunity to buy the tickets. If they don't, you have other people that get the opportunity, and that's easier. That's the way Apple does it for the WWDC, and you don't need to worry about the immense influx of people trying to connect to your service at the same time, because if Eventbrite is not managing to handle these things, I think it means that that's what they do. That's they're
the biggest
business.
Dog in town too. They're the biggest
right.
with this sort of thing. Sure.
So and I understand that there is something to be said about the excitement of getting in line and hoping you're going to get the ticket, and it's a little bit more tame to just enter your name and then maybe hope you're going to get it and maybe not, and it's just random. But there's also something to be said about not having a horrible experience for everyone in your
not having to spend your whole day
fan base
doing it,
Mm-hmm.
or morning or whatever
and
it might be.
Yeah.
Can't we make this a bit more fun though?
Hmm.
Can't we make this something to do in the Dark Moon Fair? Like complete a mini game,
Or log into the game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like beat.
But what
the
if you don't
innkeeper.
play World of
I don't know.
Warcraft? You just play Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Beat the innkeeper in Hearthstone, or you've got to.
Every game would have a thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like Willy Wonka. You open a Hearthstone pack, and inside you get a golden BlizzCon ticket.
Ooh.
All right.
Why not make it
that
fun?
I like.
But what if I'm a 78-year-old grandpa who wants to surprise his 2 grandkids with tickets to this thing he doesn't understand?
I'm sorry, Grandpa.
Think
It's
you're
the
gonna have to
most
win a game of
in-demand show. Jog on. But
Okay, how about this? We keep out the noobish kids and the noobish grandpas. You got to get legend in Hearthstone. You got to get rank 1.
No, I
in
think
Heroes
I
of the
think it
Storm.
has to
Then
be-
you get your ticket.
I'm out.
No, it has to be like Hearthstone. It has to be complete RNG
Okay.
with no skill involved at any time.
Wait,
and-
it also has to be pay to win then, right?
Oh, obviously,
Yeah,
exactly. So
okay.
you can buy more packs if you want to.
Right, you can register. You have to pay a small amount, not much, like $15 to register to have a chance to be
Sure.
able to buy your ticket. But you can buy as many chances as you want.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
can register, 15, 20,
And if I'm
100
incredibly
times.
rich, can I just buy like a fast pass to get to the front of the line and guarantee that
Yes.
I win?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Actually, that might be a reason why not to do it that way, because that there are going to be a lot of people who register with 15 different email addresses and who create fake accounts for that. So that I can see how it would
But
be.
you could easily do it in games though, because all the games have levels to accomplish. So they could just be like, okay, now you've got to get to this level. You've got to unlock this something in the game, and you're eligible, and that's it. I just think that it'd be fun for Blizzard as a games company to gamify ticket queues, or how do you do this, and how can they make an extension?
Yeah.
And maybe if you don't get in, then it's a great way for them to push the virtual ticket, because you've got all these people who've expressed an interest in BlizzCon, and you're like, well, really sorry, but here you go, you get 10% off the virtual ticket because you had a go.
Yeah, that could be fun, but then it excludes people to an extent.
Who?
and
How does it? If it's Blizzard games, you have to play a Blizzard game, and each game has a suitable mechanic, if you are going to BlizzCon and you don't play Blizzard games, you shouldn't be going to BlizzCon.
I think that you just opened up why it's a problem, because you're creating a situation where you wouldn't want Blizzard. It benefits, I think, from people, even some curiosity, like a guy who plays nothing but EverQuest is like, I'll see what BlizzCon's about. I live in Anaheim.
No one is going to pay $200 to
go
go
to SOE,
BlizzCon
Daybreak, whatever they're called.
I'm actually with Terpster here. Now we're talking like Comic-Con is all gentrified with models and people who don't give a crap about any of the comic books or anything, right?
Yeah.
They're just there for the scene. And BlizzCon is BlizzCon. It should be about Blizzard, man.
Wait,
I'm with you, Terpster. Let's do this.
Have you been to BlizzCon? Have you seen people who don't care about Blizzard at BlizzCon?
Sure. Absolutely.
What?
Sure.
We
Not
have
many.
When I was there, I saw a really grumpy French guy. I don't know if he was, grumpy.
He was
all
just
the
getting a
time.
paycheck to be there. He didn't
Exactly.
even care about it.
Yeah. I saw a British guy in the most abominable shorts I've ever seen in my life one year.
Exactly.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I would imagine that he probably could have completed an in-game challenge to win the right to be there. And for that,
You know what?
I think it's less common at
if it's
BlizzCon,
simple
for sure.
enough,
Yeah.
If it's simple enough, maybe that gives you a second chance of getting it, or increases your chance, or something.
Maybe.
But
I
it's
can't
very
wait to get the
simple.
emails.
can
Everyone
do it.
thinks we're serious about this right now.
Right. They probably, some people do. They probably do. But here's the thing. Patrick's
And then-
probably.
Then
be
you get
offended
a-
because I don't play any Blizzard games. I hate games, but I like to meet up with my friends that I met once in games that I hate, and I don't want to have to play a game in order to get into a game-related event, especially games specifically about the event I would be attending. It's meant to be a fan show.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. But I think in the end, if they're going to change, it's probably closer to what Patrick's suggesting. That's my thinking. It'll be
And you
something
know
like
what?
Probably.
The really funny thing is that we had huge issues with...
Sorry, Lily. What?
Oh, go again.
I was just going to play Lily again. Hold on.
I Lily like Lily. Right. So I was really, back when Hearthstone was in beta, was opening for beta, the demand was so huge that we had when I was at the company, we had sites crashed because when they were offering the keys, people would rush in and create scripts, and it was a terrible experience. So we got a fairly decent bollocking from Team 5, and then very strict guidelines from Team 2 for delivering the keys, like what we could and could not do, and how those things should be handled in order to provide a good experience for the customers. So I'm just saying, you know what? We had to do that for all of the partner sites and the media sites. I think we should worry about the way, I think they should worry about the way they're offering their own services as well. And what we ended up going to was the raffle system, because that's the only one that can handle that kind of demand. So just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Fair enough.
It's kind of how they do the betas these days anyway. I mean, like the hero stuff, you just sign up and then you just hope, right?
Yeah, you hope it shows up in your account. I mean, they may give they sprinkle
boring,
keys
though.
later, but
That's so boring.
Well,
Can
Terpster, we can make you jump through
process-
some hoops.
Exactly. Sign-up process should be that you have to do something in a game. And I don't care what it is. And maybe it's like, I'm sorry, but if for like, Winter's, Vale or something, I have to, go see Great Father Winter, and maybe I open some presents. Maybe each time I complete a daily quest throughout a given week, I increase my chances by a minimal marginal amount, but at least something that the true fans can be like, oh, well, at least I tried. I really went
I just
for
found
it.
the hole in this, though. This won't work at all because people have to make plans for flights, for hotels, for like real world
But
stuff.
You do it in advance.
Yeah, once you have a ticket, or you make it cancel, refundable.
Yeah, but a lot
No,
of
but
people.
how is it different from the way it's working now, though?
No, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
good point. That's a good point. I guess you still have this chance of getting screwed by Eventbrite or whatever, and it's the same as getting screwed by not having the RNG land on you in the game. So I suppose it's similar. But I think that would come off worse because at least with the ticket thing, the implication is if you do everything right, you're going to get a ticket, even though that's not true, that there's a chance you won't.
That's,
But
that's what I'd say to this. If you log in every day and you manage to beat the innkeeper, ho, Goldshire Footman, and you're like, oh, come on, this is boring. But you would still, have a chance to win a ticket or, win the right to buy a ticket. I don't know. There must just be a better way than Eventbrite. Come on,
There
that's
has to
what
be a
Bon
better
Jovi
way.
uses. We have to be
No, but
better
I
than
mean-
Bon Jovi, guys. Come on, there's just no reason. I cannot see a reason.
Bon
why
Jovi
we
uses
would be better.
Eventbrite. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Well,
Everybody
They must
uses
do.
Eventbrite.
well,
everyone-
Nerdtacular uses Eventbrite for everything.
Kraken
Well, there you
Con,
go.
which I'll
Come
be at
on.
this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
uses Eventbrite.
People
Yeah.
should go to that and say hi to Dills. He'll be at Kraken Con.
They should, yeah. If
Yeah.
you're in the Bay Area,
Release
it's in
the
the Oakland Oakland Convention Center. I'll be there on Saturday speaking, and then Sunday we'll just be playing Hearthstone all day.
So is it a?
So what are you talking about?
It's Kraken Con.
I'm going to talk about Krakens.
yeah.
Talk about
Okay,
cons.
all right.
Great.
No, I'm,
Giants.
I'm talking about my whole thing is I'm the only podcaster who's going, so I'm going to give a 1 hour talk about podcasting and how to get into it, and
Nice.
maybe make money if you want to get into that.
Nice.
If that's what you want to do.
That's
you
cool.
charge for it.
Do you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this whole
And
thing's
then
about
they
making
sit
money.
down and you
right?
say, well, how do you make money then? You say, what you do is you
Well,
get a dragon
$5, and I'll
and
tell
you,
you.
Give me a buck.
You charge people $5, and that's it. There you go.
Hold on,
podcasting.
I need
And now
to-
you can go on and do the same thing I just did to you.
I need to understand the origins of this thing. Kraken Con, based on what? Is it truly like? Was it originally a bunch of people that are really into krakens and other sea fantasy
I
creatures?
don't know the name or where it comes from. It's mostly comic books and anime and
Okay.
stuff. That's its origin.
Maybe it just sounds cool. Kraken Con.
Yeah, I think they just came up with a cool name.
Yeah.
But-
All right. Well, Patrick said
Because Blizzard
bollocking
was
today.
taken,
Yeah,
so.
that's true. But Patrick said bollocking today. You took a good bollocking. Is that a French or
that's a term.
European thing for balls, or is that ball
Yeah,
licking?
you get,
Oh,
no,
ask
Yeah,
Turf,
for
sir.
balls.
Okay.
yeah, bollocking. It's like when you get told off.
Is that what that
You get
means?
bollocking. Yeah.
When I say
It's not
ball
ball
licking, that's not ball licking.
No, ball licking is a very different thing.
Okay.
A bollocking is like a real, oh man, you're gonna get you're gonna get told off. You're gonna get whooped later. But no, it's not. It's not anything past that.
All right. I don't know what our equivalent is. I'm trying to think of it. What is a good ass whooping? A good
Oh yeah. Oh man, you're gonna get your ass busted up for that. Actually, that's probably a different
I don't
thing
think
again.
anyone says that. Everyone says that in
but
prison. Sure.
There must be a I don't know. There'll be an American.
Look,
let's move on,
sometimes
let's
there's
move
not
on.
a word for everything in every language.
All right. Other stuff around Blizzard, just a couple of quick things. If you're a Diablo 3 fan, they're removing trials before grifts or greater rifts, and I think that's a good thing. And they're talking big talk about how they hate it internally, and it's not even in their internal builds now. So if that was something you hated in Diablo, then you'll be happy to know that's going away.
So how do you have to start from the beginning every time now?
They haven't detailed that, and that's what's interesting. And I don't think they can just yank it out wholesale because it will affect a lot of
You do it
downstream
once,
systems.
maybe, and then you set a level and then carry on, or maybe
Maybe
you can choose it.
I
Maybe
think
it's based on your item level, or
I think it's going to be just have torment stuff applied. So, because right now you can totally game the system by hiding up in the corner and letting stuff sit there for a long time, and then finally coming out and killing it all at the end of the time limit, and then go in at like level nothing.
I would know, Scott. I don't exploit in games.
I've been a
So,
part
yeah,
of
no.
one. I never did it myself, but I went on a couple of
But
runs.
people
Yeah.
want to have like a lower level than they're supposed to, right?
Correct.
So that's
So it's
then
kind
they
of-
can rush through. And get
Yeah,
what
so it's
you
kind of
want.
silly. So that's part of it. The other half of it is just kind of arduous and dumb. So they're thinking, well, what if it was just, I want to go in there at Torment 5 and go at it and upgrade my gems on the honest, like that's kind of what the thinking is. So it may just be simplified down to the difference here is you're upgrading gems and doing a different kind of loot grab and the time thing. And that's the difference between this and regular Rift. So
I kind of like it just being kind of linear.
yeah, I
You
agree.
just come in and then you just do whatever, and then the next step, not this like thing where you go in and just set the bar and then move on from there.
I don't like racing clocks either. I hate that in games
Yeah,
generally.
and also, the fact is there's no actual incentive to do really well at that if you actually understand what you're doing.
Right, because you're just there to upgrade your gems or get them
Yeah.
if they haven't dropped. So I think it's a good move, and I'm excited to see how they implement it because I still love that game. Wing 4 of Black Rock Mountain out for Hearthstone. I guess it's is that the final bit?
No, there's
No,
one
no
more.
Oh, so there's 5 wings or 5 pieces?
Yeah,
Five.
it's
All right.
the secret laboratory is.
which
next.
no one knows what's in
Don't
it.
don't tell anyone. It's
Well, I
just-
know what cards are in it, but I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, you do. That's all been.
yeah, we
Has that
know
not
everything
been-
that's in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So guess who's on a 8-game winning streak because of Dill's rad in your face freaking
What?
Hunter deck? Yeah, I haven't lost a
Nice,
game in
dude.
8 games. Yeah. And
Oh,
I'm,
so are you
what rank are you
playing
at?
Face Hunter?
What that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big time.
Space Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, big time. Yeah,
Oh,
don't all
Scott,
act disappointed
Scott,
and act like it's
well,
a
you're part
problem.
of the problem. You're part of the problem, aren't you?
No, he's
Yeah.
not. He's actually part of the solution to a guy who doesn't have a lot of cards.
Yeah. I am a
Face
guy.
Hunter,
Scott-
Fair enough.
Face Hunter needs to exist. And
Yeah.
if it goes away, that's bad for the game.
I agree.
Because a player like Scott can compete.
Yeah.
I logged in and looked
Yeah,
at his
but the
account, and I was
problem
like,
is-
we can make a deck that works out
Yeah.
of this.
The
Yeah.
problem is I've spent a lot of money on the game deals, and so how am I meant
Oh,
to
it's
win?
not fair that yeah,
Exactly.
you're right.
It's not fair that Scott, who hasn't wasted a lot of money on this game, is able to play on the same tier as me.
Yeah.
It's free to play, not free
Not
to
free
enjoy.
to win.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
yeah.
I've been playing way
Right,
more than I
that's
used to, and the phone has certainly helped with that. But I'm like rank, what am I, 17 now?
Yeah, that's good.
That's
You were
my
ranked
biggest-
25 when we made the deck.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
My biggest problem with the phone has been that I start playing in areas where the Wi-Fi probably or cellular signal shouldn't, allow me to play very
Quite
stably.
supported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quite a few times I've been I've lost games just through DCs.
lost some stars
thing,
that way too.
yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, there's nothing quite like beating someone while you're on the toilet. So
Well, on the other end of this content, this Blackrock Mountain stuff, is the general consensus that they did real good here? That it's better than Nax? That it's that they're finding their footing with this particular?
I wouldn't say better than Nax, but I think
It's
that they
good
gave
as
us some
Nax.
really cool cards and the really cool boss fights. And
I think the
It's
boss
fine. It
fights
did-
are
it was
more
supposed to do.
fun, aren't they? They're more crazy, it feels.
you could argue that, I'm sure. I think that what's more fun about them is that you have more cards, so there's more ways to tweak a deck to play against them, and more ways that they can tweak. Like, 'cause there was one of the bosses actually is like a mill deck and tries to mill you out and stuff like that, which is
Yeah.
wouldn't have worked
That
in
was
Nax
just
at
nuts.
all. So it's really really well done, of course. And
plus, this latest wing is the best because the way the innkeeper introduces Chromagus. It's the best introduction of any
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because it's like Chromagus. He gets like really like it's completely different from any other time. He announces
really
him
likes
like it's like,
Chromagus.
Yeah.
oh man, I love Chromagus.
Yeah.
Ah yes, I'm so glad he's here.
Yeah. He
it's that
really
level
likes
of,
him a lot.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for this last wing to come out because I want to play Dragon Paladin really bad, but I'm still missing a couple of key cards.
Really?
Mm.
Oh,
It's-
there's a
You
good
can
deck
do
going
it,
around.
but you're
Yeah.
not quite there yet. Like the last wing has the what is it, the 3/5 that also does 3 damage. If you have a dragon in hand and stuff, it's like a mini fire elemental. And
yeah.
like that card is going to be amazing for Dragon Paladin. And then it's also got the 6/4 that is cheaper based on how many creatures have died, which is
Yeah,
also
the
a dragon.
volcanic Drake.
So
Yeah.
there's just a few cards that I'm like, if I had those, this deck would be insane. I still don't have those, so I'm like, I have like a bastardized version of it right now.
The Dragon Paladin deck I've played has been really good.
It still is great because if you think about, so this will go over some people's heads probably who don't play Hearthstone, but if you think about the curve of that deck, you can play a 5/5 on turn 5, and then you can play an 8-drop on turn 6 because it makes so you can play Cro-Magnus on turn 6.
Or
Yeah.
you can do Ysera on turn 7, which
Sure.
has just won me so many games.
Yeah. But I like going that guy into Chromagus, into Dr. Boom, into Onyxia or whatever. I don't know. It's just insane. You can just do crazy stuff.
Well, I'm glad everyone's loving it, so that's good.
And it feels good to be chucking out these massive dragons from the history of Hearthstone. You know, it's like I'm fine. Like I wanted to play with Onyxia forever, and I didn't get to. And now I get to.
Right, she wasn't a useful thing, and now she is. Thank you, Onyxia. More dots. All right. Finally, this Sunday, the Heroes of the Dorm Final Four, the Heroic Four. I have loved this stuff. This is the most esportsy I've ever been in my life about anything. And I don't know why.
Really well done.
It's extremely well done. The casting's really good. They're in progress, real time viewer thing they're using, which apparently is also being honed for updates in the game itself, so people can use that to.
Yeah, right now you can
observer
only
mode.
watch replays, I think.
Yes,
So-
well, if you do a custom game between two teams, there are observer slots, but I haven't actually tried it, so I don't
I haven't
know.
tried that either. Yeah.
Uh,
Which I wanted, I was waiting for some people to play the other day, because they're already in a game. And I'm like, I wish I could just watch you guys right now while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Because that's the one problem I've had with the game is where, since the game's last, 15, 20 minutes or whatever, if I log in and you guys are already in a game, I have to sit there and wait, or queue, and then if I queue, I miss you guys because you guys finished and I'm still in.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to get that timing right sometimes.
Yeah, it ends up being a weird loop where you're never
and then
in
you're
the same
just
game.
so you're just sitting around for a while.
It's frustrating, but I think that's coming. I think they've said as much. But when that comes, it'll make a lot of sense because I can easily burn 15, 20 minutes watching you guys finish a game while I'm waiting to get next. And
I'm waiting to join in,
that's fun. That's a totally fun way to do that. And the games are so short. The other day, I caught myself watching a 2-hour Dota 2 match, which just about made me want to kill myself. I don't know why I was doing that, but
why were you doing that?
I don't know why I was doing that. But the pace of these games, the caliber of play between these universities has been so much fun to watch. Completely into it right now. So that's this Sunday again. I don't know what time it starts, but if you don't have cable and you don't have ESPN3, but you do have an ISP who, like say Comcast, who's a qualified bringer of that normally on cable. Because all I have is
sign in and watch it on their site.
you just watch it on their site.
Term. A qualified bringer of that sort of thing on cable. That's on their leaflet.
That's exactly. Come on, I'm trying to be technical here.
It sounds. It does. It sounds.
I'm
technical.
thinking about switching my qualified bringer of cable. Which one do you think I should go
I
with?
think you should go with.
It's so hard because
Yeah.
there's so many good bringers.
There's so
of cable
many
out there.
qualified bringers.
As
of cable.
as bringers of cable go.
Excellent bringer of cable things is a pretty good company.
All right. Well, on that note.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
All right, it's time for us to do Town Crier. It comes to us via emails and phone calls. Phone number is 801-471-0462, or you can email us, theinstance@gmail.com. Let's start with calls. They want to know how long was the longest.
This is Macho Mage from Gorgonash. Quick question. Now, so many people play World of Warcraft for so many hours in one sitting. My question to you guys is, what is the longest time you guys ever played World of Warcraft in one sitting? Bye.
Okay, single sitting time record for yourself. And this probably goes back for some of us because I think the last few expansions I haven't had marathons.
I never kept track of it. But.
Yeah, but if you had to guess, like, your worst, for me it was probably about, it's not going to be that embarrassing. It was maybe 7, maybe 8 hours once back in vanilla.
I've definitely done from the moment I got up to the moment I went to bed.
Oh,
before.
wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh, easy. Yeah.
Burning Crusade, probably, when I was working in the movie industry, sometimes I wouldn't, have to go to work for a little while. And I think waking up at 10 and going to sleep at 2 in the morning and doing basically almost nothing but play WoW for all of that time, except for a couple of, bio breaks, as we used to call them, and eating.
I think we still do. I think that's still what people call them. Yeah.
Okay.
So wait.
I would
So
say
when you were
no, Scott, because we used to defecate back in the
This was before modern technology.
all right.
before osmosis and Apple Watches.
I would love that.
Apple Watches just absorb it right through your
So
skin.
Patrick, when you weren't Mr. Hasselhoff's personal assistant, this is when you were playing. Is that what your job? Tell me about your movie time. I didn't know anything about this. When did you work in the movie industry?
You didn't?
No.
The Movielicious podcast. You don't remember that?
Right. Doesn't that qualify? I had 2 hours of work every week.
We gave 3 levels of review. It was constructive.
That was hard work.
Did you have to
This movie's 98 good.
Was it
Like,
like
no,
set
it's
stuff
the
or what'd you do? I had no idea, for real.
So when I lived in Japan for a while.
Yeah.
And so after that, I said, Japan sucks. I'm going to come back to France and work in movies. And so I did that. I came back and I worked. I was initially an intern on a couple of movies, and then I moved up, and I ended up being an assistant director, which, if you know a little bit about the movie industry, basically means you manage the schedule of the shooting schedule and the set. And I was also an assistant producer on, among other things, Japanese commercials that were shot in Europe. Different places in Europe. So
Wow, when you said Japan, I was like, please don't say tentacle porn next.
Yeah, don't
But
say
then
those
you didn't,
words.
so I was like, phew.
So we are not going to mention this in this show. Excellent.
They call it French tickler porn. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, so I did that, and thankfully there were time between projects that sometimes were reasonably far apart, I had a little bit of time to myself to play WoW and do podcasts and stuff. And so I did.
Good.
That's what I did.
There you go.
And,
Yeah, I
and
think
I
it's probably
sometimes I sometimes tried multiple mods in the game and sent reviews of said mods to an English podcast that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a great show too back in the day. Remember that thing? It was a hell of a show.
Yeah. Now the clowns
Really gone to hell, though.
Piece of festering shit. Terpster, you didn't say anything about how long.
Yeah,
your
no,
longest...
over 24 hours. I don't know how long after that, but I know we've back in the day we did like a whole.
Because you were still in what we'd call high school when
Yeah.
game came
When
out.
we were doing like Arathi, not bloody hell, Winter Grasp. No, what's the really Altrat Valley?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
Yep.
We were doing
stay in those all
those
day? Yeah.
from start
were
to
in-
finish.
You were in high school, Terpster?
Well, I didn't quite complete high school.
No, but you were at the age that
It was 10 years ago, so
I was 16 when WoW came out.
yeah.
Well, actually, I don't even know. I think I was 15.
You're such a baby.
Exactly. And I was one of those guys in the guild who everyone thought, like, God, that guy's hilarious. And then I got on Vent, and they'd be like, hey, guys! Yeah! And they're like, who is this? Who is this?
This is the T, the underscore T.
Come on, guys, it's me, the Terpinator. Come on. I was sent back to the future to bring you great lols. Fortunately, my use of dank memes got me through those early days.
That is amazing.
The funny thing, though, is that your voice hasn't changed that much.
No, exactly. And one of the ways I won favor with these older gentlemen was by sending them pictures of myself in my underwear.
Oh.
No, it was by
Smart. Very
was
smart.
by playing longer and harder than anyone else could because they all had jobs or lives.
Yeah.
And I was in like
And when you're
Silphus,
young, you got stamina,
farming
man.
mats. Exactly. I was the first gnome on my server to have a human horse mount.
Oh, good
back
lord.
when it meant something, and I was there rocking it out, level 60, more rune cloth than I care to imagine, on my beautiful white steed. But obviously now it's quite easy to do that.
Well, there you
Back
go.
in the day,
Back in the day.
it took
I
many
never reached
upon
the
many
touch
of an
that.
hour.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
probably closer to Patrick's there with like 18 hours or something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, you got to, when I started, it was in 03 in the alpha and played a lot then. And then in release, Nick was like 3 or 4 years old. And I had, my kids were young and little, and it was hard to get that kind of time away to play on the computer that long. But even then, I could muster maybe 8. But 24, that's like those guys that die at internet cafes in South Korea.
Yeah, well, exactly. Because you would get on there, and if you had friends with you as well, it didn't feel quite as lonely. Don't make it out like I was like some crazy. Well, I was probably crazy, but still.
For people, it ends up people being dropping out of school. So and that's what you. Although to be fair.
I was fine.
To be fair, you're now the CEO of a very successful new media enterprise. So I guess the lesson from all of this is drop out of school, play 24 hours of WoW, and you're set.
No, I got all A's in my A levels and stuff. I did really well at school, but that doesn't mean that you can't then also play the balls out of World of Warcraft, which was my passion and my
You can
way
absolutely
to
do all of those
shut
things.
off. It's a fantastic way to spend some of your time.
I like that. Well, let's move on. We got one last call, and then we'll do an email or so, and then we'll get out of here. Here's this final call.
This is Joseph from Ontario, Canada. I think the major issue with WoW nowadays and the slowdown is because every expansion after Cataclysm has been smaller and smaller. There's been less dungeons, less PvP added to the game with each expansion. And then now they're emphasizing raid, so the dungeons are de-emphasized. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
I don't know if I agree that they're smaller. They're just maybe more focused in some ways, or certain things didn't work. Like in vanilla, a 40-man raid seemed like a really brilliant idea, but they eventually went, this is unwieldy. How about 25? Yeah, that feels better. And then they kind of, iterate from there. But I wouldn't say that this is just purely look how much less content this expansion has compared to the last ones. I'd argue that Warlords has more than Pandaria did. So I don't know if that holds, but there've been a lot of
Yeah,
theories
it feels-
floating around.
I mean, Warlords, if you want to do all of the single player content, it will take you a really long time. If you want to go through all the zones and complete all of them, it's at least as long as it was in Pandaria, if not more. And I think there are a bunch of dungeons that now are relatively easy, but back then it was a little bit, a few months ago when it first launched, it was really challenging. And we already have a second raid now. We might have a third one coming, I'm guessing. So, I don't think there's a little bit less PvP maybe. And that might be because the PvP zone is, what the direction they decided to go with. And even then you have a lot of PvP battlegrounds. I don't think you should add infinitely more PvP battlegrounds. At some point it becomes unwieldy. So
Chat room made a good point about how he's saying in the call it's every expansion after Cataclysm. We literally have one that's new.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think he's probably lumping Kata in with that though, because like if you think about ICC and all that stuff, the Lich King stuff seemed like very big, right? Seemed like there was a lot going on there. I could see how it would feel like each one after that has had less than that one, because that one was just so immersive.
Yeah,
but
that was such, and that was
I think it's
also-
just a feeling. I
yeah.
don't think it's actually like it's one of those things that feels true, but probably isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree
like
with
when
that.
you play the game, and yeah,
I agree with that. It's easy to get in your head. I mean, it's so much time has passed, yet so little time has passed. So much content has been past your face, yet has it really? Like it's just easy to get caught into whatever loop you're in. And Cataclysm is both divisive and interesting, and a weird place in the lifetime of the game. And in a lot of ways, it reset things. In some ways, was the least amount of content. But not really, because most of that was because you were flying everywhere and it felt like there was less. I mean, there's all these factors.
I would argue though that I think the dungeon stuff, the 5-man stuff, has gotten like it was hard for a little while, but I felt like when we were doing Wrath and stuff, I was still doing 5-mans. I felt like I was doing 5-mans forever there, and I definitely don't feel like I have no incentive to do a 5-man right now, like none at all.
Yeah. Well,
it was back then. It was 5 men that were your, if you weren't raiding, and even raiding was once a week or twice a week. But the bread and butter of your WoW playtime was 5 mans, and you would do them over and over and over again. And honestly, it was fun. I didn't mind at all. That was what the game was. You would do your daily, and you would accrue your valor points and get your gear. I mean, that was it for me, and it was fun. It
dollar round daily dungeons were some of my favorite bits of the game ever. I love that.
Yeah.
Love
I
going
guess
to
you
town.
have your in your garrison, your guy will give you that random daily, and sometimes it's a dungeon, and then you can go to what's the one where you get, it's like the tavern.
Oh,
you
right.
can get followers and stuff. You get a daily dungeon kind of thing.
Yeah,
in
but
there,
then-
but they're
but
different.
then
They
you-
give you
you
random
can't-
stuff.
Yeah.
You can't target it though. You have to. You have to go randomly trying to get into that dungeon, and I think that might be helpful actually if you could. It would give you that. Well,
If
actually,
Terpster has his way, one of your followers in the tavern will give you your damn BlizzCon ticket if you get lucky enough.
Well, you set it up. Why not? Why not?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Why not?
Make it
indeed?
Harrison Jones, and it's like, son of man, I got to do another. Oh, have you got Harrison? Who's got Harrison up today, guys?
Yeah.
Just in G chat.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want anyway. He's an amazing follower.
He really is. He's one of the best. Quick emails here. We got one from this guy who says, Super Evil Monkey Boy is his name. He says, hey guys, I've started listening to your podcast and thinking about starting to play it, but I'm clueless on what you need in order to play the newest DLC. I think the fact that he calls it DLC kind of points out that he is truly new to the game. He hasn't really played it before. Do I need all of the stuff prior to Warlords of Draenor? Thank you for your help, or any that you can give. I'm just completely clueless on these things. So, you have to buy what is called the Battle Chest, and that is the entirety of sort of vanilla up through Pandaria, which you can currently do at, I think, $39. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have checked the gear store.
What, money?
Yeah, $39.
Oh,
I think.
yeah, if that. It's often on sale.
No, it's cheaper than that.
Is it cheaper than that now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's the battle chest right now? Let's see. Battle chest.
But even then, does it have to be the battle chest, or is it just any older version of the game? Doesn't it all come with it?
Well, okay. So
No,
here's
I
the
think
deal.
you need the battle chest.
If you buy
you
if you're
did
doing
battle
it by a
chest.
disc method, okay, you got to get the battle chest. But if you're buying it online, you can download the client, play it after the trial, say I want to stay, and you're essentially paying for a digital version of the battle chest. So you just do the same thing. So whatever that price is there, it's the same as retail. Then to play Warlords content, you need to spend, which is I think that is $39 on top of whatever the battle chest costs you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the the battle chest right now, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Warlords is $49. World of Warcraft battle chest looks like is $19.99. Does that include everything though? Let's just.
I think you got a party there, haven't you?
I thought that they said that if you had World of Warcraft and you missed any expansion,
but that's if I think
you
that's
could just buy.
Players. Yeah.
Okay, that was just for existing players. Okay.
Yeah.
So a new player would but that would make sense to just buy battle chest and Draenor, and then you're good to go.
Oh yeah, here it is.
To make you jump through any more hoops than that would be really deterring new players.
It's funny how they've listed it because they just call it World of Warcraft digital download, $20. And they show old imagery from like BC and vanilla. They're not even bothering to say anything other than includes levels 1 to 90. The implication there is this is World of Warcraft proper. The only difference is this new expansion called Warlords of Draenor. So
so it's 2 purchases essentially.
Yeah, you make one, play the hell out of it, decide if you want the other one, or boost to 90 with the other one. But I don't know, for a new guy like that.
Yeah, and again, you can play the free one, can't you? Just the starter edition, just to see if you like 20. It.
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd try the starter and see what you think, because you can do that up to a level or whatever and never pay a dime. And if you like it, then maybe buy Warlords and boost to 90 if you don't want to do all that other content. But some of the that makes me sad, and I understand it shouldn't because I get the path and I understand why you'd want to boost. But for a new guy like that, my brain says there's so much for him to see that he won't see.
Yeah, but there's also so much content in Warlords.
Yeah. True.
I'd say just get the basic the battle chest. It's really cheap. And I don't know for you guys, but for me the game didn't click until I had spent at least a week playing and above level 20, I think. Especially today, that level 20 is going to be 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, did it click for you guys from the beginning, or did you need to play a little bit more than that?
I think it depends on if you come to it from other MMOs. I was playing Dark Age of Camelot, and before that, EverQuest. And to me, this was a revelation because it took the things I loved about those games, got rid of all the really crappy things I hated about those, and gave me a game that seemed like the perfect mix of everything. And I was immediately hooked and loved it from day one. So I don't.
Well, I used to play EverQuest as well, and I very famously tried Warcraft in the beta and decided that it was dumb, and thought that EverQuest 2 was so much better because it was like realistic and it had like things and I was never trust me about anything ever. But
it's a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, in general for everything. Yeah. But I was into those games as well, and I didn't really understand how deep the gameplay of WoW was until I hit level, I guess 30 something like that. It didn't become super fun playing that.
Yeah. I was sad at the beginning that it didn't have, because my WoW RPG love was always squarely in the Diablo camp, Diablo 2 and action RPGs. And I was sad that when I would go kill a thing, it wasn't just dropping random shit. And I remember that bugged me for a couple of weeks. Not because, WoW is better or not better with it or without it, because it's a very different game, and I understand it now. But at the time, I just thought, well, this is Blizzard. There should be like gold and crap falling out of everything I kill, and I should be able to go make money with that or wear it right now. And the game wasn't about that at all. It was troll sweat and copper coins. And that took a while for me to get my head around. But once I did, it's fine. It's totally fine, everybody. That's it for emails.
I was hooked right away.
Oh, go ahead, Dills.
I was hooked right away. Like as soon as I started playing, I tried the trial. That was like the first experience.
You came BC, right?
No, I was in vanilla, but
that's right.
It was when they started doing the 7-day trial, and I was like, because I'd avoided it because I knew I would like it a lot and probably play the hell out of it, and then I just kind of caved.
Yeah.
But yeah, the moment I logged in and started playing and got to like Goldshire and stuff, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna do this all the time, every day. We're in 100%."
Well, it's
when did you start playing?
I guess I was 2004 or 2005.
Oh, so it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was up, yeah. Like there was like Molten Core was out. There wasn't a lot of raiding going on.
Probably early 05.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
But yeah, it was still vanilla and all that. And I never got to 60 before BC came out. I had toons spread out all over the place. So we're all like level 40, 45, 47. And I never got to 60. And then when BC came out, I was like, all right, I got to do this. I got to get there.
Back then, people forget.
Wow.
Vanilla was work to get to 60. It wasn't like...
It really was. Like getting your
man.
mount and everything was insane. I remember the first time I got a mount, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And so you didn't experience the joy of 10 people's... Oh, it wasn't Skullman's. What was it when you...
Stratholme and 10 people. You could do 10 people Scholar as well, I think.
I guess so.
No, I did a bunch of the 5-mans on the way up, but I never did any of the...
It was UBRS, I think.
The first time
Ubers
I raided...
as well, yeah, and low
Ubers was more. I think you do Ubers with more than 10 people.
Could you?
Could've
There
been
was
15.
one dungeon that was
one of them was maybe 25 or something. I don't know. But no, the first time I raided was Magtheridon.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
That was the very first raid I did, and I was the top DPS.
That was a fun...
I'm in.
Did you get your sack?
I got a sack. All I was wearing was PvP gear because I was PvPing a lot, but I wasn't ever raiding. And then I came in, and I remember it was like it was Palatinus, and what was the warlock who was really good back in the day? I don't know. It was some like old AIE people, and this was after I got into AIE, and we did. Magtheridon had to like do. I didn't know anything about mechanics. I was so noobish, but I was a hunter. And I was Beastmaster, and I I OP as hell.
Yeah,
I auto shot, and I drank some mana.
Yeah, they had the that was a hard dungeon. It's hard to solo now because they had that weird cube thing you all had to get around and.
Yeah, you run around and click the cubes.
Yeah, it was tricky. I remember that felt like the first moment of they're gonna get creative with dungeon mechanics. Are they? That was like for me that felt revelatory compared to other dungeons. For whatever reason, the rest of them just
right
seemed like
after
tanks and
that. That
spikes.
was like Karazhan was a thing, and so then it was like raiding is the funnest thing you could ever do.
Yeah, Gruul and all that. It was good. All right. Well, that was a nostalgic walkthrough back to time. It's going to do it for the show. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Does anyone have anything cool to announce? So, Kraken Con this weekend, right?
Yeah, Kraken Con. I'll be there tomorrow at 12. I'll be speaking. So if people are interested in that, that's at 12, and it's in like some side room. I don't even know what the layout's going to look like, but it's Oakland Convention Center. Tickets are fairly cheap, and I think they're still available, so go check it out. There's a lot of anime stuff. People will be like dressed up and all that kind of stuff. So if you like that.
Metal detectors and all that because you're in.
Of course, Oakland. I mean, it's the mean streets. So,
hasn't been gentrified yet. All right, good.
But then on Sunday, we're just going to be doing kind of like a fireside gathering, basically all day. They've got like a little table set up for me in the gaming area, and they got some tablets for us. And so we'll have some prizes to give out, and we'll just basically I'm going to have some of the guys from Game Night Showdown Esports and some of the guys from Hearthlytics.com are going to be hanging out with me, and we're just going to to be playing Hearthstone all day.
That's great. That sounds awesome.
That'll be fun as hell.
Yeah, people check it out. Willie Dills on Twitter, of course. Willie Dills on Terpster.
Willie Dills on Terpster.
Check that out. That's how this is going to happen. Spectacular.
Terpster, you got any more conventions for 13-year-olds you're going to this weekend, or what are you doing?
Not for a little while. No, got one in May. But past that, no. I'm off. I'm on holiday for a week.
Oh, good.
So I'm just spending it at home. Doing nothing.
It's lovely. Staycation, we call those. That's great.
Staycation.
Day of Hearthstone and WoW and all that stuff.
Well, a quick update.
Well, I wish, but yes.
Well, a quick update from the Terpster Scott corner. The Hypothetical Help reboot is happening. Some have asked when. We have a couple of final details working out on the way we're going to push that thing out, but we're close. So
I'm holding firm on my contract negotiation.
Yeah, he's not immovable.
And I said $30 or more, Scott. Otherwise, I'm not even going to think about it.
Or I'm out. So
I'm out.
You guys will have a way to make that happen very soon. I think sometime next week you'll hear big news on the launch of that thing. So watch for that. So fans of the original Hypothetical Help, rejoice. It's coming back. Patrick, you got anything going on? I loved being on your Pixels show, by the way. That was a blast.
I'm sorry?
I'd loved being on Pixels with you. It was a total blast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, I guess I could recommend listeners go listen to that. Pixels is a show about video games. And last episode, we had Scott on, and we basically got... I tried to explain to people who don't know Bloodborne, that very difficult console game, what it is. And I got the best comparison ever. And it is basically a drill sergeant, and it yells at you, and it tells you to go out in the woods and shoot bears. and it completely works. And that's one of the many things we discussed, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's available at FrenchSpin.com, and you can listen to that. It's Pixels.
Yeah. And don't forget Patrick on Twitter as not Patrick. Terpster is the _T. I'm at Scott Johnson. The show is at Instance Show. Of course, Willie Dills. What else? Oh, our theme is created by Matthew Oxley. Big thanks to intern Paul Swickard. Takes care of our show notes. You can find all that at theinstance.net. More shows like this at progpants.com. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Patrick, for Terpster, and for Dills. We'll see you next time.
Woohoo!
Oh, that was a good show right there. That was
All the shows are beautiful, Scott.
Yeah.
No, don't, you know.
And we went an hour 9 minutes, which is exactly what I was hoping for, even though we started a little late.
An hour 9.
Hour
Come
9.
on. Come on, 9.
18
I think
minutes.
next
be an
time we
hour.
can do an hour.
An hour 8.
Easy.
God damn it. Oh, God.
Next week we
one
will.
off.
It used to be every show I did somehow magically hit 1 hour 5 minutes every time, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing to make that happen. It was like an internal clock that would
And then
just.
I realized I only had that much disk space left. I listened back. They missed half of the stuff we spoke about.
Now it makes sense. All right. Well, everyone have a great day. That was great for reals, and watch out for a face hunter on the internet called Gerb because he's out for blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll kill you all. I can't find a way to hang up on everyone. Bye now. All right. Oh, more music. Hold on. Oh, gosh. Okay. There we go. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm sorry that the video